Hey guys, it's Avery, and today's video is going to be terrible middle school stories. Oh my god. That's fun. So, to start off, my middle school, god, I hated it. So, my middle school comprised of two-faced girls, two-faced boys, annoying boys, idiot boys, and girls trying too hard not to be who they were. And then there was like the type of people like me, sat in the corner quietly and tried not to be involved. Didn't work. I was still involved in a lot of crap. And most of the people there hated me. At least most of the guys did. But anyway, so to start off, my first story that I have for you today is one from the 5th grade. So there was this girl, we will call her Susie, and ever since elementary school, she's just found ways to bug me. She was harassing me basically. I'll make another video about her, but this is just one story of stuff that happened with her. But in my class, we had arranged seating. So I was sat next to Susie, and Susie was so distracting to everybody. I'm not talking dress code distracting, she just purposely distracted everyone. She'd sit there trying to talk to you. She'd do all this weird crap. What? Do you know what she did to me and several other people? She took off her shoes and would rub her bare foot against your leg. And her feet looked like they'd never been cleaned before. They were covered in dirt and grime, and it was gross. And I'm not being a priss about this. It's literally just why? You're touching your bare foot to someone else's leg. That's not, what? Your bare, dirty foot on other people's legs. Why? It's gross. And it's also invading their personal space. But anywho, she did that a lot. And finally, she was trying to talk to me and doing that to me, and I'm just stop, I'm trying to listen to our teacher. Finally, our teacher's just Susie, stop, you're distracting Avery while she's trying to work. So she stops, and Susie pulls out this little tiny keychain-sized book and writes in it, Avery is a B word. And I do say the B word a lot, but right now I'm using it I'm not going to use it because I'm trying to keep my videos PG. I'm trying to keep my videos G here. Yeah. But anyway, she wrote that, told her teacher because I was a tiny bit of a tattletale, but so was every other kid, so. But our teacher went to the office and told our vice principal about it. And our vice principal, she called Susie into the office first, and Susie started crying. And then I got called into her office. And for about 20 minutes, I went on a fight with my teacher. That was one that you would have as a 2nd grader, of the yes she did, no she didn't, yes she did, no she didn't, for about 20 minutes. And then she continuously said, well, Susie wouldn't have said it, wouldn't be sitting there crying if she didn't do it. Dude. Also, I forgot to mention, Susie was a known thief. Susie was a known thief in my school. Anytime something went wrong in my school, anytime something went missing in my school, the first place you'd look was Susie. Like, but anyway, Susie decided to start crying and saying that she didn't do it. So after missing about a class and a half, sitting there arguing with this grown woman the way you would when you're in 2nd grade when I'm in the 5th grade, I sit there and tell her, maybe I misheard Susie. Maybe I misheard Susie. And she starts going ballistic on me. Sits there telling me, oh, now you have to, like, you've wasted all of our time with this little fib. You have to apologize to me. You have to apologize to Susie. You have to apologize to your teacher. And I'm just like, okay, you crazy woman. Like, if that gets me out of here, fine. So, I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, I say it more respectfully, but I'm just like, I'm sorry. Then I turned to Susie. I'm glaring daggers at her because she had me sitting in that office for an hour and a half, at least. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, Susie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm apologizing with my mouth, but with my eyes, I'm telling her, I hate your guts. Then it comes time to go down the hall to where my teacher is. So she pulls my teacher out of her class, and she's like, Madam, can you come here for a minute? Avery has something to say to you. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, madam. And then finally I'm allowed to go back to class. Finally. And then, like, lunch hour rolls around and my teacher pulls me aside and she's like, I know Susie was lying. I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry that you got blamed for everything. You don't deserve that, and I know you were telling the truth. So, my 5th grade teacher was alright. I didn't really like her that much, but that was pretty cool of her. So, that's great. Then, there's more things that have happened in my school. Like in my old school. Like the fact that my gym teacher was a sexist jerk. Okay, so one of my friends got hit pretty hard one of my friends got hit pretty hard in the head with a volleyball, and she was crying because those suckers hurt. Like, I don't like this girl anymore, but those things hurt. Like, she wasn't being over dramatic about it. Those things hurt. Especially when it's being whipped at you by idiotic 6th grade boys. And so, she starts crying and she goes to our teacher and he's like, oh, walk it off. You can go and take her and get some ice in the office if you want. So we go and we get her ice, and then that's that. Then a little while later in the year, our class is playing pickleball. If you don't know what pickleball is, that's a good thing because that means your school never forced you to play it. But anyway, if you don't know what pickleball is, it's like a wooden paddle and this very hard plastic ball that has little holes all over it. And what you do is you take the paddle and you like hit the ball back and forth with your friend. It's a dumb game. It is an injury waiting to happen. But anyway, my school decided it was a great, safe gym class activity. Wrong. Especially when you have a bunch of idiot 6th grade boys in the mix. Like, why? Anyway, I'm playing it normally with my friend and just like thinking to myself, this is violence waiting to happen. This is injury waiting to happen. Because I hated gym class. But anyway, we're standing there, we're playing, and all of a sudden this kid beside me, or no, across from me, like beside my friend, is sitting there, crouched down in pain, because his idiot friend decided it was a nice idea to whip the ball at his back. But like, those things really didn't hurt that bad, and they hurt as bad as a volleyball does. And it's not like he got it to his head like my friend did. Like, he got it to his side. Like, it wasn't that bad. Because, like, I had been hit a few times by that thing and it hurt, but it wasn't that bad. Like, I'd been hit with a volleyball in the head before that, and it wasn't as bad. But he is sent to the office to go talk to our principal about it. And before he does that, the gym teacher asks who did it. Can you guess who he said? He told him it was me. Me, the quiet girl in the class who was playing the game like you're supposed to with a friend. So, this kid, he goes to the office. He's talking to the principal. It's lunchtime by now. Finally, I get called to the office. No, I don't get called out to the office. I get called out into the hallway. And my gym teacher's in the doorway of my class, and he goes, "Avery, can I see you for a second? Avery, can I see you for a second?" And he's saying it in French because I go to a French school. But I'm dragged out into the hallway. Not literally, because they can't do that, but you get the gist. But I'm dragged out into the hallway, and this kid is standing there, and my principal is standing there, and she's like, "Why did you do that to this kid? We're gonna call him Jonathan." She's like, "Why did you do that to Jonathan?" And I'm just like, "I didn't." And she's like, "He says you did." And I'm just like, "I didn't. Like, I was playing it normally with my partner." And she's just like, "Him and his friends all say that you did." And I'm just like, "Well, I didn't. Like, stop trying to put the blame on me, because I was playing it normally with my partner." So, this goes on for a few minutes, and then she's like, "Well, who do you think did it then?" And I say this kid's name, and she's like, "We already talked to him, he said it was you." I'm like, "Really? The kid who actually did it doesn't want to get in trouble, so he blames the first person that it could be? Really? Who would have thought?" Like, and I'm just like, "Well, then ask my partner that I was playing with. They'll tell you I was playing normally." So they asked my friend, and she was like, "Yeah, she was playing it normally with me, like, we were just playing, and then all of a sudden we saw him standing there clutching his side." And before this, my principal is talking, like, she's talking to me, and she's still convinced that I did it. And I'm just like, "I didn't." And when I say I didn't, she starts lifting up this kid's shirt and shows me the mark on his side. I'm like, and she's just like, "See, it didn't, like, see what it did?" I'm like, "Okay, it did that, but I didn't do it. Like, I didn't hit the ball. Like, seriously? I can see the mark, but is there some sort of DNA on it that tells you I did it?" Like, but like, it was ridiculous. And then, after that entire thing, I go back to class, and do you know what Jonathan decided to tell his friends right when I walked into class? He says, "Oh, I didn't want my friend to get in trouble. I didn't want this kid in our class to get in trouble because he's my friend. And then he says, I just blamed Avery because I wanted her to get in trouble. Huh? Huh? Like, you want to go? Like, I was the quiet girl in class today. Everybody decided to walk all over. And they decided to blame me for that. Like, you suck. The kid who did that, the kid who blamed you for that, you suck. But, like, that happened. And then in grade 6, we also had one of the idiot kids I knew decided to scam most of our class. Like, I don't mean money scam, I just mean scam. Like, they convinced them that they were this famous model girl and that she was coming to our school. And then we had this big scandal about it. And then after that, after they found out who it was, we weren't allowed to go on our electronics at school anymore. So then, grade 7 rolls around. And at this point, snowball fights were very common at my school. And it got to the point because snow freezes very easily here. I'm not going to say where that is, but snow freezes like crazy, so it turns into ice like very easily. And here comes fun. The snow that like froze, a lot of idiots, aka boys, no offense to any boy who watches this, most of you are probably cool. I don't know, the ones I go to school with aren't. But anyway, they decided it was a nice idea to throw ice balls at people. So we got snowball fights banned at my school. And yeah, it was sad because even my teachers wanted to go out and have snowball fights outside. But yeah. And then not much happened in grade 7 that I remember. Grade 7 was kind of a blur. But grade 8, we had to go outside for recess and for like after lunch. But we were also we could also stay in the library. And so I did that very often because I'm a bookworm and I like to read and stuff. And so that kind of stuff happened. I was allowed to read and during lunch for a while. Then winter rolled around and I continued to do that because I didn't like winter and I still don't. I'm good with outdoors, just not during winter. Winter here is freezing. And the way my school worked was they wouldn't let us stay inside unless it was -50. And, you know, snow went up to your knees. Snow goes up to your knees here. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna stand outside in the snow with snow up to my knees, my legs soaked, because I don't wear ski pants to school. I don't wear ski pants to school ever because I didn't go outside. Outside was not a place to be when it was freezing cold. Because why would I want to? I hate snow with a burning passion, by the way. But anyway, I stayed in for recess most of the time. I stayed in the library, and it was never really a big deal because the librarian knew me. She knew I was a very quiet kid, and she was very nice to me. She was very kind, and she was totally okay with me sitting in the library and reading. I didn't disturb anything. But then winter rolled around, and everything changed because everybody decided, hey, it's too cold to go outside. Let's take the school research computers and play Roblox on them. So the library was basically completely filled up with everyone from school. We had about 4 couches in the school. All of them were filled up. Or in the library, I mean, we had about 4 couches. All of them were filled up. Then we also had about, I think, 8 or 9 tables that had about 5 chairs at each. All of those were filled up. And then there were still kids sitting on the floor behind the couches and stuff. And my school decided, hey, that's a fire hazard. If we have a fire drill, they could all trip each other and stuff or whatever. I don't know what my school thought would happen. I don't know. But then, God, like, they decided, oh, that happened once. So now we need to change something. So we need to have a pass to go to the library. Little 8th grade me, my heart broke that day because I was no longer allowed to stay inside and read because all of the idiots in my class go and sign up for the pass first. And they would get the pass first, and they would go and sit in the library and play Roblox the entire time off of the school research computers, even though they weren't supposed to at all. And then the other ones that signed up for it were either doing homework or they would pretend to do homework while they were on their phones. And that made me very mad because most of the time I would just sit in the school library and read, like I wasn't bothering anyone. At lunch, I had to sneak into the library to read. Do you know how weird that is? You normally have to sneak into school, or like out of the school to do stuff that you want. I had to sneak into the school library to read, and I got in trouble. Like, how does that make sense? It doesn't. You're forcing me to go outside in -40 weather. And if I come and read quietly, like the librarian didn't have a problem for it. Like she was like, do you have a pass? And I'm like, no. Like little 8th grade me is like, no. I have no friends, please. Please don't kick me outside. And she didn't. Like she normally, like unless one of my friends came with me into the library, I was cool. Like she was like, okay, you can stay, just be quiet and like pretend like you do have a pass if the principal comes in. So I had to sneak into the library to read. Yep. And that is the end of today's middle school stories. I have a bunch more, but I do not have enough time in the video to explain them all. So I will make a part 2 soon. And I will also make a Susie video because there's a lot of stuff that happened with her. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys watched this far, that's great. I don't know if my comments are going to be off, but if they're not, leave a comment, please. But, yeah, that's why I hated my middle school, and there's still more to come. So, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. And I hope you guys like this video, and I'm sorry I haven't posted in so long. Love you guys. Bye.